All right, everyone, welcome back. This week we are in Psalm 16, which reads, "Preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names unto my lips. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. I will bless the Lord who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore." Okay, so as the superscript notes, this is a Psalm of David. And kind of like with the second Psalm, this one is somewhat unique in that because it's referenced in the New Testament, and we'll get to that in a moment, we have the New Testament confirmation that this is indeed David's Psalm, not traditionally attributed to David, as we would say that many of them are, but actually, according to inspired New Testament writers, attributed to David. So the superscript notes that this is a miktam of David, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And as you may have suspected with some of the other terms that we've noted thus far in Psalms, no one is exactly sure what this word means. It's an ancient Hebrew word. The meaning has been lost to time. Some of the explanations that Brother Waycaster notes here that have been offered by various commentators and scholars, the Golden Psalm, the Secret Psalm, and the word appears as a subtitle in this psalm and also in Psalms 56, 58, 59, and 60. A form of this word also appears, miktam, also appears in Isaiah 38:9, and there it is rendered writing. So one possibility that's been offered, Brother Waycaster notes, by Dr. Alexander, according to Spurgeon, who famously wrote an excellent commentary on the Psalms, says the word is probably a simple derivative of a word signifying to hide, and would thus signify a secret or a mystery, indicating the depth of doctrinal and spiritual import of these sacred compositions. So there you have it. Take that for what it's worth. Okay, so breaking this psalm down, he has an outline here. I've noted before some of these outlines in particular really play up the alliteration. This one, perhaps more than any other we've encountered so far. He has it broken down into 8 parts, which is kind of funny to me considering it's only 11 verses long, but he has a prayer in verse 1, provisions in verse 2, preference in verse 3, pity in verse 4, portion verse 5, provisions again verse 6, priorities verses 7 and 8, and then promise verses 9 and 11. So starting out with the prayer, "Preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust." A similar thought, and as we're working through this, you're going to see very similar thoughts to what we've seen in some of the other Psalms. The one thing I really want to hone in on this Psalm is the New Testament quotation of it. It's further down towards the end of the Psalm, so we really want to take note of that. But starting out with a similar thought as some of the others, the psalmist trusts God. Because of that trust, he is calling upon God to preserve him, right? To protect him, to guard his life, his soul even. Verse 2, "O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to thee." Now, if you happen to have the ASV, like Brother Waycaster does, because it's rendered differently here in the commentary, This perhaps sounds a bit less odd to say, Lord, thou art my Lord. If you're using the King James like I am, if you pay close attention, and I believe we've noted this before in the Psalms, but just in case we haven't, you see Lord in small caps. The first Lord is in small caps, the second Lord is capitalized, but then it's in lowercase letters. It's capitalized because it's obviously a reference to deity, just like further down in verse 10, Holy One is capitalized in the King James. As we've noted before, in the New King James, even pronouns get capitalized. But so the first Lord, the one that's in small caps, anytime you see Lord in small caps, it's actually Yahweh. That's the actual word that's there, the formal name of God. In the ASV, it's rendered Jehovah. So it's the Tetragrammaton. It's 4 Hebrew letters. There are no vowels in it. It's all consonants, and so Yahweh is a guess at how it's supposed to be pronounced. That supplying some vowels to actually make it pronounceable. Of course, in German, J is pronounced like a Y, right? You think yes in German is Ja. The J sounds like a Y. So Yahweh, Jehovah. Jehovah is another, or it's actually the German transliteration of the best guess at how Yahweh is supposed to be pronounced, how it could be transliterated into the alphabet that we use. So when you see Lord in small caps, it's Yahweh. And this is interesting. If you really want to go down a rabbit hole and go into a very complicated study, go back to Genesis in particular. Sometimes you'll see God, the word God. Sometimes you'll see the word Lord. Sometimes you'll see them in the same context. Sometimes even in the same sentence or even back to back. The underlying words that are translated that way, it can be interesting. Here, Lord, small caps, Yahweh, thou art my Lord. The second Lord is Adonai. Oftentimes when you see the word Lord used, and it's not sometimes, anytime you see the word Lord used, and it's not in small caps, it's almost certainly Adonai, which is a generic term for Lord. Sometimes in the Old Testament you'll see, a servant calling a master Lord in the more generic sense, Adonai. So, my soul is said unto the Lord, Lord, thou art my Lord. So Yahweh, you are my Lord, my master. So two different words. My goodness extended not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent in whom is all my delight. The saints in the earth merely meaning faithful people that are living. Those, like the psalmist, those mere mortals who were living their lives trying to be the people that God would have them to be. That word saint, certainly in the Catholic tradition, takes on a totally different meaning than what you actually find in Scripture. You have these people who were placed upon pedestals, who were revered, even worshipped, or to whom prayers are addressed. That kind of a lofty exaltation and notion is not only not found in Scripture, it's outright condemned. Note that there are saints and those who are excellent. Yet again, sometimes weary of